thinking about reading the script. It's so funny that I always, every scene, I think about a different movie. Do you have that same thing
Well-
that when you see a scene, you think about a movie in a movie, a scene in a movie that really maybe connects with it, or
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's when I was writing it, I was doing that. I was visualizing it. When I write, I watch it in my head first before I start writing it, because I already know, before I put dialogue and stuff down, I already know where I want to put the camera. I already want to know where the shots work. Goes back to then, now was like we're seeing it in from another movie, from another
Yeah.
perspective. And of course, once we get there, the location has a lot to do with it, but at least you have a starting point.
Yeah.
So my starting point is reference movies, and then you put it on thing, then you get your cast, you have the read, and it kind of builds from there. But it all starts with something that I've seen someplace else.
But is it leading up my childhood, my getting a little bit older, my first encounters with? Is it leading up to what's going to happen? Do you think?
In this case, it is, because it's not make believe. We're taking your real life.
Yeah.
So it is leading up to certain things, but it's because it was leading up to certain things. It was really happening.
Yeah.
So it's not like it has to go on a stretch. It's not like we have to okay, where are we going to go from this? It's documented. You lived it.
So being naive is all the way through. It's always staying, because I always thought I learned my lessons.
But even knowing you now, there's still a naive side to you.
100%.
So
you never lose that.
You never lose it.
I agree.
And I'm the same way. I mean, I try to be trusting. I'm naive. I give people way more credit than they deserve sometimes.
100%.
You're still in it. So
you're still.
It's was your childhood.
Yeah.
It's never left. That's still you.
And in my case, the moment I needed that lawyer is going to stand for me.
Yep.
I was again naive.
Yeah, exactly.
Because so many.
You trusted the system.
And now I trusted that girl who started to cry, and I'm going to help you. I said, oh yeah, you're my lawyer. But I didn't need that. I needed somebody who knows the law.
Yep, exactly. You need somebody
who's
firm.
doing his job.
Exactly. Not something that's emotional, something that's, and her heart was probably in the right place. But she didn't have the power or the knowledge to take it to that next level, which is what you needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's been your whole life.
Yeah.
That's been your whole life.
And that's what I really want. That's why I wrote the book, because I think there are so many people living this same life, different outcome and different things and different hiding. And people start living in using drugs to cover their pain and the naivety and the insecure, being insecure. But me, I started living in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
I always saw a world that was good and everybody was nice and they're going to help you when you need them. And that's not the world.
Yeah. And as I told you, is I read this, I can see myself in that exact same space, because a lot of the things that happen have been my growing up, the way I brought up. Different situations, but it was the same thing. And I think everybody else is going to follow that same thing, because their prison, like we said before, their prison is not necessarily behind bars. Their prison is maybe behind a bottle, maybe behind drugs,
gambling.
I mean, there's so many things.
Games,
there's so many things that could be their prison. That's
and
the
nowadays.
Oh yeah,
they can hide themselves in the phone. They think 8 9 hours live. You know, if people are now 60, they sleep 20 years. They live 20 years, and 20 years they're on the phone.
Yep.
And they really start thinking, this is my life.
It's true.
Here are my friends. Look how many friends I have.
Well, look at social media. How many negative things you see on social media?
Yeah.
Everyone posts all the good things. They're hiding behind a mask. They're hiding behind the screen.
Yeah.
So it's always positive. They're always trying to shine. It's like, look at me, how great I am.
You show your best parts, but
they don't see.
After you post it.
And I'm the same way. I mean, I post, I try to be positive. I try to be a good role model and stuff like that. But I mean, even this stuff, I'm going to Dublin this weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm excited about going to Dublin.
Yeah.
The truth is, like, I lost my passport. I had to go to the police station, report it. There's all day now today getting an emergency passport so I can go do all this stuff. Nobody knows that stuff.
And it's funny, the moment I speak, I do my talk, people say, oh my God, Frank, you're so amazing. You're, and I always say, I'm not even close.
Yeah, you don't even know half the story.
But I'm not even close where I want to be.
Yeah.
The story I tell myself about myself when nobody's listening.
Yeah.
And that story is still alive.
Yeah.
That story is still there. I want to be in the Wembley Stadium and you know, but I'm not there.
No, not at all.
I'm now here.
Exactly. and what I like about the way we wrote the story of this is that we don't show all those highlights. We don't show all the good points. We show those hard times.
Yeah,
we show the hard times where you're struggling, where you tried to commit suicide, where you wanted to give up in prison.
Yeah.
You know, you slit your wrists and stuff like that. We show those hard points.
Yeah.
That's part of life, and that's part that we always disguise. We hide behind that mask. You can't see that, and I think it's important to show that there's good times and there's bad times.
But the message is going to be the same.
Yeah.
You have to hang in and look for the small windows and not keep knocking on doors that never will open.
That's exactly it.
Look for the small things.
Exactly.
Look for the guards.
Yeah.
Look for
that one person that's going to be the influence that's going to change your life, or the one person that's going to support you to follow the dream.
Because sometimes you never know where you're going to be born.
Yep.
But if your parents are not good, keep looking. Maybe it's a grandfather or a mother or a teacher or a basketball coach or, you know, it can come from everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to show.
And you just don't know. I said something about a week ago. You don't know who your role model is. Everybody has a different role model. And it's not always the superstar. It's not the athlete. It's not the entertainer. It's not the singer. A lot of times it's the parents. A lot of times it's a family friend.
Yeah.
A lot of times
you're lucky it's your parents.
Yeah. But a lot of times it's just a stranger you might have met in the street.
You never know where it comes from.
You know, there's the story of the kid that was walking home from school and stuff and then ran into somebody and they helped him out and stuff like that. He was on his way to commit suicide.
100%.
And that one person gave him the moment to realize that he was all right.
Yeah.
That's the message we want to get through to people.
That's funny that you tell me this story now, because when I was the first month in jail, I wanted to get out. And I knew the only way to get out is to end it.
Yeah.
But there was always somebody who needed a little bit more frank to go on with their life.
Yeah.
And that helped me to keep alive.
Yeah, your leadership is like you wanted to. You're such a helping person, stuff like that. Is you see that weak person, and it pulls you out of your shell to help this person.
Yeah, and I stayed alive for another week.
Yeah, exactly.
I helped me.
Yeah, and then when you didn't have that person there, then that's when you were ready to give up. You're ready to quit.
Yeah,
you try to end it all and stuff like that.
And there was the guard.
Yeah, and there was the guard. Exactly.
And there was the guard, and that can be Tom Hanks in the Green Mile.
Yeah.
You know, he was the good guard who saw the good things in that prisoner.
Exactly.
And that prisoner was a good prisoner.
Yeah.
And it was a good person.
Well, go into the Green Mile and stuff like that, where he took John Coffey to the house to cure
100%.
the wife.
I had a few of those scenes in my book.
Yeah.
When people brought me to court and everything. So that's really funny. It's we can talk for hours.
Oh yeah, this can keep going on.
There's like, so much, but you know.
Take two. We'll see you next week.
That was good.
So true. So true. No, this is good.
Oh, forget the question. Take it again.
No, don't make that joke anymore because it's not funny anymore.
Yeah, really, I'm serious now. I'm really serious.
Fuck me, damn.
I'm serious.
Wat heb je gedaan?
Do we need to bury him in some